A couple of days ago, I posted a video giving my opinion on what is happening to house prices behind the scenes, the information that effectively is being kept from the public with intent, but also to offer my opinion based on empirical facts on what will happen to property prices through this year if the present situation continues. I've had lots of people reach out to me, which is wonderful. Thank you very, very much. And I'm honoured that you feel comfortable to reach out to me with your concerns. But the tone of people's concerns have been quite alarming, and it's really concerned me. When we make these types of videos, there is a distinct difference between information and scaremongering. And whilst I have every intention of offering the former, I certainly do not wish to scaremonger anyone. I know lots of people who have, over the last few months, made an entire career on social media by scaremongering everyone. Every single post is house price crash 2022, house price crash 2023. I think that's reckless, irresponsible, and this is the last thing the public needs at this moment in time. What the public needs is information where there is an opinion, for it to be made clear that it is opinion and nothing is cast in stone. Things can change. After all, our leaders are human. Yes, believe it or not, they are. And who knows how things will go over the next few months. It was only a few months ago that we were looking at interest rates being north of 5 or 6% through this year. Now it looks that they won't even reach 5%, but things can change. At the moment, as you all know, we have large-scale disruptions with nurses and public services of all kinds, demanding pay rises, which is understandable considering the rise in the cost of living over the last year, but there is a serious danger here. I, for one, support any increase offered to nurses, to police, to firemen, because they are the givers and savers of lives. The problem is as follows. If they were granted the rises that they are demanding, what would invariably happen is over the next few months, the headline figure of inflation would rise further, which would mean a year from now, they'd actually be worse off than where they started. But the bigger threat is that that would then filter through into the greater economy, and the Bank of England's monetary policy would have no option but to raise interest rates even further. So it's a very, very difficult one. I can't answer that. I can only see what will happen one way or the other. There are two hidden evils in the free market. There are many, but these two are really dangerous. One of them is compound inflation and the other is compound interest. The first exponentially increases what you have to pay out. The second exponentially increases what you owe. And it is vital that for the economic health of the country that these two factors are really, really kept in check. But as you may know, there are people out there who can and do and will want to benefit from either, if not both, one way or another. As far as I'm concerned, at this moment in time, the people who are most urgently in need of greater income are people at the very bottom. Somebody who's on 50, 60, 80,000 a year, whilst they may be unhappy that their disposable income has dropped a little, they won't have to decide whether to heat or eat. But people who are below the poverty line, and bear in mind that this country has a disgraceful policy where you are taxed on income even though that income is below the poverty line, which is outrageous as far as I'm concerned. The threshold for tax should be at least £20,000 now. 12,000 is ridiculous. Up to, and maybe even slightly more than 20,000, people should not pay national insurance or income tax, because that's money that they need to heat and to eat. And those two things are not choices, they are necessities. I think that this year will be a very interesting year. There are factors that remain to be seen that could affect things positively and negatively. So all information that you hear, whether it's from me or anyone else, is as it stands today. We are in a very fluid situation. But more importantly, I set out to give you the information as I see it, but I certainly do not wish to scaremonger anyone. I'm sure that many of you are terrified enough as it is. What I am trying to do is to offer you the opportunity to make informed decisions about what you do through this year. Whether you are a first-time buyer buying with a small deposit, whether you are a next-time buyer, whether you are retiring, whether you are thinking what to do to supplement your income because you may be equity rich and cash poor. Let's not forget that despite the fact that the government, the media, or rather their friends in the media, has effectively managed to set us against each other, it is not the individuals, successful individuals or private landlords who are responsible for where we are today. It's actually an insult to have a government blaming bus drivers and nurses and landlords for the state of our economy when they blew billions on a failed track and trace, where a spotty former health minister gave his friend a 30 million PPE contract, and then when he had to withdraw in shame, he tried to revive or relaunch his public career by going on some show, whatever it was. And it's not just this government. Let's not forget a former Chancellor who sold off most of our gold for around £250 an ounce, and it's now worth 1,700. I can't believe that these incompetent people can make decisions that affect you and I in our daily lives. And we need to remember this, because we tend to be divided between Labour, Conservative, red and blue, if you like. They're neither red nor blue. They are simply an insidious shade of deceit. For those of you who are concerned about what will happen to property over the next few months, I feel obligated to highlight every single concern that I feel you should be aware of. This is so that you can prepare for it, not simply to terrify you and frighten you to death. Therefore, I will continue to post videos on a monthly basis about property prices and where I think the market will go. I don't need to be addressing this weekly and daily. It's not about creating panic. It's simply about presenting you with some information, and the rest of the time I will continue to post information about all things connected to property. I hope that this has been of help to you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.